Let's go over your rear foot elevated split squat, or RFE split squat, or Bulgarian split squat. Basically, we are loading the front leg and doing a modified, almost like a single leg squat pattern. So let's get set up first as usual. What you want to do is you want to set up a bench or something to put your back foot up on. I like to put a half row here just so it's a little bit more comfortable, but just know that you're not pressing through that back foot. That back foot is just a kickstand. It's just a point of contact to help you balance. So we are going to get set up first. How I like to set up, I know there's a lot of different techniques to try to get that front foot set up. What I find is best is that we're just trying to get this as a balance point again. We don't want to feel like you're excessively stretching your quad or your hip flexor, and I don't want your hips to turn. I want it to be square facing forward. So what I like to do is, I typically tell people, just put your foot back up on the bench and get this knee slightly behind your stance leg. I don't want it too far behind, because then not only are you gonna get a big hip flexor stretch, you're gonna start to open up your hips and turn it away from your front leg. And if you're too close, then this knee is going to be straight down. You are going to be getting a really good quad stretch, and it's going to be hard for you to get into a single leg squat position on your front leg. So I find just a little bit behind your stance leg, that's about the sweet spot. Granted, there's some individual variations, but this seems to get majority of people in a good position. From there, what we are doing is keeping the core nice and braced. I want to stay as square as possible to the front, and I am doing a single leg squat on the leg that's on the ground. So all of the squatting rules apply. You want to sit down, push through your heel, push flat footed, have good ground contact through the foot, and you want to have your ankles, knees, and hips moving. You don't want one to stop, because then it turns into a deadlift or a good morning or something else. So try to have that good mechanics. You're going to lower yourself. Again, my weight is over this front leg. This is just a kickstand, and I'm going to drive my hip forward, use my quads, use my glutes to stand up nice and straight, and I like to finish in this extended position. Again, I coach that majority of your weight is on the front foot, so about 80% or more of your weight is on the front foot. I should be able to almost lift this foot off a little bit. Again, it's just helping my balance. So there's so many ways that you can do this. You can do it with front rack loaded position with the bar. You can do it like a goblet squat with a dumbbell or kettlebell, or even a water ball. And all of these ways will help to get some resistance on you, but the mechanics stay the same again. Try to be nice and square, try to control any lateral motion, and you want to push through that single leg as best as you can and control your range of motion through the reps. If you are loaded with weight, what I tell people is to balance first, make sure that you're safe, and reach your foot back up. If you do need to adjust, you are going to step back down, adjust your foot, do not hop around just in case you lose your balance, and you're gonna place your foot back up. Be nice and controlled, brace that core, you're gonna go down and push back up in a nice controlled fashion. And when you switch, again, place your foot down, be careful, and you are going to go down and up in a controlled fashion. Really try to use that leg to keep everything square. Try your best to keep your hips level so that you're not shifting your hips laterally. And that is going to be your rear foot elevated split squat. You can also set this up by using the roller pad attachment on a rack. And what I would recommend, I always like to err on the side of being a little lower. I typically like to put the pad just below my knee height, just again, because this is a kickstand. The higher that it is, the more that you're gonna get into this position that you might be restricted based off of your back leg mobility. So I like to put it a little lower. All the same rules apply, right? You're going to step your foot down, line yourself up, try to be as straight as possible. And then from there, you're going to control that motion down and up. Right? You want to be nice and balanced and stable, push through the heel, and you're doing a single leg squat. And again, you can do this with a kettlebell, a water ball, any type of resistance loaded in the front. And this is how I really like to emphasize that front leg strength and stability. And that is how you can work on your technique to maximize the benefit from your rear foot elevated split squats.